Can I help you? You're already set for the night. You
Looking for something, Aunt? Come.
The tear machine your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now. There he still is, looking right through you with an inconspicuous pile of the roofing material.
Yes? What do you want to know? You mean like a brief? There's no 3 days ago, during that time. Okay then, good.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here?
Hello again, esteemed officer.
A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title, From A to Zurich, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo.
Oh, a nature enthusiast. Good choice. I knew it.
Shelves full of biographies of famous. This bookstore is not strictly about crime. Several maps the maps look old and faded. Shelves filled to the brim with crime. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring a small mountain of colorful board game boxes. A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds. A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Seminole Islands and in southern Fas a la Mer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues. This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang bang cockatoo. It's where to even begin. All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up. Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream non-stop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive. It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own. You're right. Cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle, and show off. and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 135 decibels. Not great for the neighbors. Where to even begin? Pet owner, it is not recommended to get a cockatoo. This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is something indisputably ominous about it. Perhaps the most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the jungle. Its pink-colored wings and flowing crest embellishing its proud and bumptious nature. In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species. Despite its banging name, the bang-bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Seminoese forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world. Its plumage is mainly gray and white. The Seminoese name, bang-bang, is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins. Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you? You're right. You're a fuckatoo embodied. This sorry-ass bird belongs on your heraldry. It probably doesn't even have feathers and only screams. A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminoese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. Ow, shoot. Whose moronic idea was it to just run through the door?
Are you alright? This looked pretty intense and painful.
What is going on there? I warn you, don't tempt the spirits, officer. Don't tempt the spirits, or you'll damage the holy wards on the door.
It barely looks like you've done any.
You've hurt yourself now. I told you not to mess around back there. You're only making things worse. Stop it. Be compelled to look at the books. Go to them.
Excuse me? I don't know. The most talkative one? The what now? No, you're not. Don't think that. You're the cockatoo who offered to find my stupid husband. Let's leave it at that.
She doesn't want you to be the fuck-up-a-too.
Everything's still cool here. Me?
This man probably comes from Seaguy. Some
Very cool.
Hello again. How can I help you? Sure. Let me have it. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps. I doubt it, but
The pawnbroker's gaze is all. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets.
did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
That was a very smooth salesman's grin that almost comes off. A crumpled building. Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. This must be it. The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. You knock silently. The upholstery.
I guess no one is in. Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for, but every day tells you something new about yourself. Apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something I'm squeamish about. If the Merc Tribunal happens before we solve this, we are looking at casualties. What's one unlocked door compared to that? On the other hand, we could just leave and tell Evrart we opened the door. No one seems to be tailing us to see if we actually did it. Yes, presenting a fabrication is known to get results here and there. You took this task. You make the call.
You try to be as silent as you can. Finally. Well, buddy, you opened it. No need to go inside. It would be rude. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. A white alligator. A fountain of quicksilver. There might be important information in the apartment. I mean, there might. This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty. This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle. It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag. It is but one of the many strange optic atmospheric phenomenon of this wondrous archipelago. You're sure you once saw sundogs in your youth, and blue flares.
The tenant is an old-fashioned guy.
The lieutenant does not bow to the flag. It is not my flag, he thinks. My flag is the signal blue of the zone of control. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others. A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. There's something disdainful in the way the curves and lines of the bodies were drawn. The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. They are merely unflattering caricatures. The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much. Anytime, the lieutenant picks up one of the mugs, then puts it back down with a look of disdain.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines.
There's the missing tin soldier. Whoever lives here might have used the Whirling's container to dump his trash. And now they've drawn the ire of the Union. The plot thickens, as they say.
An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often.
Who knows? I'm not expecting too much from this clothes in the trash lead either way. It might turn out to be some random local matter, but still, a nice coincidence.
You could ask Everard who this person is once you're done here.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare? Oh, come on now. Corruption. That's how he's done.
The position of my...
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt verm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Weird. Oh no. One of the positive things to come from the revolution is the unhindered exchange of information, you see, even when it comes to trade secrets. Which isn't to suggest our talks constitute corporate espionage. Even if they did, it would be fine. But they don't, since you logged the money as a donation, and this is clearly just gossip between friends.
The lieutenant might have, but I don't remember you logging anything as anything, Harry.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
The lieutenant looks at you. When I said be wacky, I didn't mean wildly, grossly irresponsible and damaging to the RCM.
And conventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this, to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has it... yes. As you said.
Please, don't get him in a loop. If he gets in a loop, it will last forever. Ask him to say something else, please.
That's wrong. You don't get into loops.
Of course. Thank you for the advice. I'm glad you are here to assist. Your other dealings with Evrard are still of considerable interest to me.
The lieutenant will be more lenient toward sharing those.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then...
Right to work! Hell no. The man's breathing.
Wiretapping, telescopic batons, futuristic circuit bending to infiltrate harbor machinery. Maybe you could even knock that Kowalson crane over using some remote controls. Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole. Like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the
file cabinet stands steady as the drawer slides. You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you...
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old... No trouble at all, mister.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair. I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable. Just...
The Weasel is no true patriot, Harry. He prays every night for the downfall of the Union, and spits upon the name of the king. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good. Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best, helping people, with the power of politics.
Yes, yes. Do you think this weasel is somehow connected to the murder?
Oh, no, 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 no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you. Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this. But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are neat freaks. If you don't mind me saying so, I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right?
Would he? I'm not so sure about it.
Oh, you're too kind, Harry. Way too kind. I know I'm not a real police officer. You are.
That's all he's going to say on this subject.
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire? I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village, but the mercs and their brutality are very real. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container. Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill. Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base. There's a militant wing inside the Union, a group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, Socialist Democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
Despite his boastful tone, He's having doubts about something. But what? Maybe he doesn't believe the boys really had it in them. They're his boys, after all.
That's very clever, Harry. Yes, they might have said it just to impress some girls or something. But Titus has a bad temper, so the chances are 50-50. How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. Of course, you're always one step ahead of me, Harry. I'm no genius. I'm in this position because people like me. Tribunal? That sounds serious, Harry. We union men should be shitting ourselves. I wish you hadn't told me that. I'm gonna lose sleep over this. Let's change the subject.
He's clearly happy about the tribunal.
Oh, Harry, what do I really think about the tribunal? You're trying to climb to second base with old Everard before you've even courted him properly.
He wants you to do more things for him before.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal. Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
That's him allowing the police to ask his men questions. He's betting on them being useless to you.
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
The lieutenant watches you pocket the banknote. He looks a little puzzled. How many micro bribes would this guy take?
Good boy. A real team player. Now, do you have any more? Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find... Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
A man of the left? So you have to be a social democrat? He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
What does your heart tell you about your lost gun, Harry? Does it tell you to forget about it? Or do you think it wants to be found? I think it's lonely and cold. I think it wants to be found, and I have a proposal for you.
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful.
But, he thinks, it's your call.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm going to hand you the keys to Martinez, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing. I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're going to get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry. On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry. They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie. You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the waterlock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then we can talk about your gun. Most certainly. By all means. See you soon.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum. The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth center. This is either an ominous or cool architectural choice. Hard to say. My money is on cool. Looks like a cubic pyrite.
I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not a perfect solution, but...
There is no loophole. The simple truth is the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door. Once the construction starts, it'll probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out.
I should have seen it. Evrard probably has eyes on us, but we could try to get other people to sign this instead of those listed. Or you could forge their signatures yourself. By the time he finds out, we'll already be gone. However, we'll need access to the coast before we do anything. Evrard won't believe you got villager signatures if you can't even get to the village. You can try a forgery as soon as we can cross the waterlock.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here. Incriminating. Now, Evrard, and what did he tell you? That we killed him? That because we did? All of us together?
No, you don't. What you have is 7 honest men who thought it forthcoming to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste...
They're playing to their considerable strength in numbers. Don't talk about arresting them. You'll only bring attention to your inability to do so.
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
Doesn't remember them. He just forgets. Are you hearing this, Titus?
Ain't no use keeping a stiff catalog in your head. That's for sure.
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Titus, keep addressing him. He wants everyone to know he's in charge.
Who do you fucking think does?
He's so sure it's him. But it's not that simple. There's someone above him, or beside him, sharing the leadership. Hard to say who. He has authority in the group, but it wasn't him calling the shots that night. Hasn't been him for a long time.
Theo's a great guy, but come on. Titus Hardy runs the Hardy Boys. That's why we're called the Hardy Boys, genius.
I think you got your answer, Mr. Law.
Yes, there are some administrative differences. But on that night, they all acted as one man. You don't have to keep answering his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for White Pines?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
This is where he tries to sow discord between you two, because he knows the company is responsible for bringing the mercenaries into town.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus.
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town. And he stepped out of line.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara. Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
There's slight unease in him suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right?
He grabbed someone?
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl. Young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
Despite the stonewalling, you can slip one more question in.
Titus, do not answer. You have been forthcoming enough.
Fuck off, Carl. She's gone through enough without you harassing her too. She doesn't...
What are you talking about? Embarrassment. If someone has been sexually assaulted, we need to...
What you need is to get the fuck out of my face. I've had enough of explaining myself to you fucks. He's dead. It's done.
As you can see, these men can only take so much baseless scrutiny. I'm doing my best to keep the situation civil.
It's true. She was the only thing holding him back.
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
You're pretty sure you've had at least 2 years of cop school and many more of active service. This is where an autopsy would come in handy. You have to work with what you know.
Titus, you don't have to clarify anything.
We overpowered him, dragged his unconscious body to the tree, put a noose around his neck, and hanged him till he was dead and steady.
Then we left him for seagulls, maggots, and you fucks.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first, then see if it all adds up.
With numbers, asshole. How do you think? You're right, Lizzie. I've done enough explaining here.
No, he hasn't. Not yet.
Weren't you fucking listening? The fucker came to our bar. It happened right here.
Titus lets the others clear out the details. so he doesn't get his hands muddy with explaining too much.
Like what, Copper?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder, even if it is a group responsibility. We're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials.
Rent-a-cop? So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals.
Oh, so you...
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You're gonna go and tell on us? You gonna let him talk to me like that, Titus?
Let's see. The old man sent word you'd be around again. That's the reason I'm being so forthcoming with you.
As you look around this room full of sweaty men, swearing, drinking, spitting out tobacco, does this look familiar? You believe the place was called Precinct 41. It was also filled with, almost exclusively, men, sitting on desks, talking shit and wasting time. You seen Apricot, old Perdue's daughter? Asks Lieutenant McCoy. Uh-huh, replies Torson. The ass on that one. McCoy shakes his head in appreciation. A bit strange the old man named her Apricot, but, I mean, who am I to judge? Wanna hit the kebab joint?
Huh? You got a problem with beer now?
Not quite there yet. Push on.
You saying we don't help people? I've been doing this job for 10 years. Martinez was a dump before we put this outfit together.
They don't know, man. They weren't here. We had 3 shootings a week, kids dead, fucking graffito everywhere. You cops haven't shown up since the 30s.
Congratulations on the graffiti removal. All I see is you sitting around talking about Monica's titties while there's a rape victim.
So what? What do you want from me? We took care of that fuck.
Don't let him drink that. One more push. Just don't antagonize him. You have this already.
Titus?
She stops mid-sentence. That's it. You got him. He's going to give it up, but on his terms.
You want to talk to her, cop? Fine. I'm gonna let you talk to her, but you treat her with respect. If you don't, if you question her, harass her, a freight train of pain, buddy.
What is her name?
Glacia. I'm on Duke. She's staying here at the Whirling in Rags. A real pretty one. Silvery jumpsuit. Blonde. That's Amonju with an O-U.
Shit. The girl. The girl upstairs? That can't be her.
Sure. Why not? You've probably seen her around.
You inexplicably add cool after the victim's name.
I don't understand what's so cool.
Nothing. We just have a few more questions.
It sounds like you're having a heart attack. Whatever you do, do not tell him you know her. That would sound off.
I know her.
How well do you know her?
Well enough, Copper. We party. She's been here for a few months. You mean Revachol? Nah. Our Miss Aranye disco dancer is an immigrant or a drifter of some sort. been staying over here over the winter.
Don't you give her any more trouble. She's just had some bad luck, that's all. Shut up, Angie. She doesn't need your help.
Titus gives them both a look. They fall silent. What's with all the silences? It's like these guys don't know how to feel about this. You should keep picking at it.
What do you think I meant? Yeah, pretty much. No, we just fucked. That's all. I'm not gonna give you any details if that's what you're after. So put your dick away.
He really went out of his way to seem comfortable with this topic. That's all you're gonna get for now.
He did it before we killed him. He's not gonna do it again. So what does it matter?
It would help if we establish a timeline.
All right. 2 weeks, maybe? I don't know. I need another beer.
Here you go, boss.
Relationship? There was no fucking relationship. He raped her. That's their relationship.
Something is off here. His anger is possessive.
Was like that karaoke incident all over again. Or like some of the other girls he was harassing.
Okay, enough. All of this is irrelevant to your stated investigation.
Remember what I said. Freight train of pain.
Officer, what was that? You looked strange when he mentioned the assault victim's name. Do you know that woman? Is there something I should know before we talk to her? Understood. You were not in good shape on Monday. Okay, that's manageable. Understood. It is. This would have been good to know before. It should have. Anything else? We'll be alright, officer. This is nothing.
You feel fortified by his assurance. It's going to be alright. There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The smell is repulsive. Too late. It's impossible to keep in. until a pool of vomit lies under your feet.
Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head. That young woman, the gardener, mentioned she used salts for the smell. If she doesn't have any, there might be some in the fridge store nearby.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your... I suggest not wasting...
You caught her off guard. Push her some more.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are...
You set the pace and the topic of these conversations here. Establish that.
I represent the union and these men here. Don't make this personal.
A very minor victory.
Is this about the question?
She looks up from...
Yes. What we have is there, in the medicine.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with
Okay. Don't, like, overdo it or something. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste...
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. The ammonia only makes it worse. The combination forces tears out of your ducts. The second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
Are you okay, officer?
The weight is reassuring, like a...
You're facing tough odds here. It's aggravated further by alcohol withdrawal.
You are being weak. This is weakness, and it cannot go on much longer, or you will lose.
No. This, you need to get your shit together. We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while... Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then...
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
The door...
Who is it?
This is the police. Can we come in?
Come on up. The door is open. I'm drying my hair.
Yes?
This medicine cabinet is full of wares. Sheets of pills, haphazardly stacked, one on top of the other. There's also a toothbrush somewhere in there. It's been used quite a lot. This toothbrush belongs to someone who doesn't give a damn about her teeth. Pharmaceuticals line the shelves. Sheet upon sheet of pill bottle next to pill bottle. Acetylic acid, APAP, eye drops, blood thinners.
Anything of note?
Pill bottles rattle like bones as you search the cabinet. Paracetamol, histoperidol, something in a foreign language you can't read. Behind them, an unusually shaped nasal spray. Its label reads, Nacra. Nacra? This is used to treat opioid overdoses. Always handy to have around.
Interesting. That's used for diamorphine overdoses.
Among some foreign, probably Messinian or Gotwaldian, marked red blister packs you find. What do you find? This is going to take a little know-how. A bright orange bottle with Preptide stamped on it, in sunny, happy letters. Jackpot, baby. That's the stuff you're looking for. Your palms begin to sweat just holding that little plastic container. And your chest swells with pride. Look, it's made right here in Revachol by San Baptiste, a proud Revacholian pharmaceutical company with great traditions. It's speed, man. Just what you were looking for. They call it dextroamphetamine and talk about psychological disorders, but what we're seeing here is some scientifically advanced trucker speed.
Preptide, a euphemism for pharmaceutical amphetamine. Prescription speed.
The fuck are you waiting for? Let's get super fucking... The lieutenant looks toward the door. Who cares, man? The same small, heavy door. It's barred from the inside.
I don't know. It is not the first closed door we found in this building. There is also your mysterious blue kitchen door. I don't know. The further we get, the more this building seems to be tied to the case. The vigilantes, the cadaver, and a number of people connected to the case are in or around this building. This door is part of it. It's not unimportant. No, still a mini investigation.
Welcome to the roof.
Below her silvery jumpsuit, an athletic young body, built long and lean.
I'm sorry for the mess down there. Nice. I don't know about that, officer.
Where a ripe corpse still hangs from the tree, spotted with green and purple. The woman doesn't flinch, but there is something in her light brown eyes.
Oh yes, legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell has opened in there. A third place? Interesting. That's probably why the cleaning lady quit.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi. I'm a detective from Precinct 57. I believe you have already met my colleague from Precinct 41.
Have I ever? This man has an unforgettable way with words. And what is that situation?
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man who was hanged. The people responsible have asked us to talk to you.
Huh. I see.
Be careful. Ask something else first. When you go there, use words like I hear you have been through something difficult.
Clasier Amondu. Vredefort, Republic of Oranje. A bad memory, officer. Of lilacs and lightning. Parks, glass. Duraluminium. Vredefort is a conference city. It's always autumn there. A night. At least it was for me.
What's so bad about that?
Nothing, if you're no longer there.
The conference centers are filled with people who get angry at you if you do something wrong.
Sooner or later, everyone does. I'm 28. Something stupid.
Want to hear what's stupid? Somewhere in a one-room apartment on Boogie Street, a young man shows Patrol Officer Tilbrook his genital warts, asking if they're cancer. His partner, Emil Mullins, can't be there. He's in another apartment with another man who's showing him a dead dog under the radiator. It's dead, Mullins says. No, the man replies. I touched him. He's warm. He's warm, Mullins replies, because he's under the radiator.
No, no. More stupid. What an easlet. Oranese literature. It's what I studied at the university. Fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be Oranese. All national literatures are. Only the name of the nation changes.
If that's true, then Revacholian lit would fit you like a glove.
Nothing. I do nothing with it. Cool. I've made more money by just being than I have with Oranese lit. It's not very cool, but what can you do? I'm afraid you can't, officer.
Why is that?
Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast, along with cash and airline tickets.
Thank you for your candor. Why?
They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river. If I were to lie to you, I would come up with a more mainstream name than Clausia Mondu. It's a weird name. Okie dokie. The record. So official. Yeah, it's pretty deluxe.
No one likes to talk about their dirty laundry and their empty bottles. Maybe if you phrase it emotionally.
I have no idea, officer. I'm wintering.
How long have you been staying here?
About 4 months. I came in November.
The bills downstairs concur.
Here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, or here in Revachol? Because it's the funkiest building in Martinez. And because all the other buildings are bombed to hell. Yeah, I've contaminated it pretty bad. The contamination spreads from room to room. First, I escaped upstairs. The SAD got that too. Then I found the handle for the summer door. For me, it's a mix of me with a lack of cleaning services. How about you? Talk around the establishment is, you have an industrial SAD spill in there. Cool. I think I'm developing a pinch of that too. It hasn't done. Thank you. I've put a lot of time and effort into it.
Technically, possession of narcotics is legal in Revachol, but you should still reprimand her. No, don't listen to the stiff. Be cool.
With money, sir. It's not exactly the NT-star size caboodle I intend for it to be one day, but it's getting there.
The Anti-Star is, or was, a vespertine rock and roll star who liked to do drugs. He did so many drugs, he eventually mutated into a corpse.
Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids.
Is that something that happens to you often, miss?
Better safe than sorry. Very funky. Okay. Something difficult? I've been through at least half a dozen difficult things. Which one do you... By sexually assaulted, you mean raped?
Yes.
It's a bit early in the morning for raped, isn't it?
She sounds positively buoyant, vivacious, totally unbothered.
Is it? It is evening. Time flies, man. Yeah. I'm gonna go with not raped. I don't want to say that shit about him.
By him, she must mean the victim.
Tell them it's not my style. They'll have to, you know, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more, rapeable.
Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted?
Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery. Sexual assault, maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier. Pretty much.
Warming them.
We partied. We drank, sir. A lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other. We made each other drink harder. That's why I liked him.
What else?
Stimulants. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder. And then drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex. I guess you can say that, yes, a bit. Lovers is such an emotional word. But there was something there. We did enough drugs for there to be.
How did you two meet?
Downstairs, at the bar. He was on some sort of assignment, a military man, as you probably know. Had a cool, scary scar.
She appears aloof, but that scar part, the scary, is stressed and drawn out. What's that about? Apprehension? With longing. She misses him.
When was this?
A month ago? Something like that. Oh yes. I have multiple viewpoints. From the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams.
You called us, the RCM.
Yes.
Jackpot.
I made it. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, they call it snitching.
Reporting crimes is confidential in Ravachol, miss.
I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. With nail clippers. And I diverted some radio fuzz into it. Into the cold wire.
So, she's God's mystery foam cutter.
Did I? Fuck. I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing.
Jigsaw falling into place. This is satisfying. Good catch. I appreciate the symmetry.
I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the Union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires.
Thank you for making the call, miss. It was the right thing to do.
I didn't want to, sir. And he's still hanging there.
We will move the body to the morgue today, miss. Don't worry.
I'm sorry, I can't do it. Not right now. Later, maybe. I keep seeing him. Like he is now. I can't talk about his... I don't know... hair.
I know it's difficult, miss. We can return.
He had something to do with the strike. One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing. But you probably know all about it.
And his role in this strike was...
I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines, and against the Union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean.
And they lynched him for it?
She nods.
They're frequent guests. Downstairs, they have a booth for Union members. They're probably down there now. Over drinks. It's been a long, boring winter. A little, yeah.
Like you partied with the deceased?
No, not as hard.
I'm sorry to have to ask this, but have you had a physical relationship with any of the Hardy Boys?
I have. Which ones, sir? I don't remember precisely. Titus, obviously. But as I said, it's been a long winter.
Could that have been part of the reason they hanged him?
I hope not. Actually, I know that's not the reason. I'm careful about that kind of thing. not crossing the wires, you know? But that's probably where they got the rape idea. Men like that? I don't know. It's the way their imaginations work. I suspect it's what they'd like to do to me.
She breathes a silvery sigh of relief and weariness. The air on the roof feels humid.
Should we head by downstairs, officer? We may have things to discuss there.
She nods. Silvery cigarette fumes disappear into her mouth. Soft, light brown eyes look back at you, directly into the space behind your eye sockets. You see the smoke rise from between her painted red lips. She's beautiful. I have bad news for you. You know these guys? Who? Me? Yes, you. He's talking about you, you boring stiff. You too. Me? What did I do? I'm merely a master thespian. These guys are compromised. She's got them singing along to her tune. The little bleeps and bloops you trust for info, you can't trust them anymore. I'm sorry I didn't catch it sooner. It takes conscious effort on your part. There's no way of knowing. At the moment, I'm afraid it's best to assume. All of them. Bullshit, man. I ain't compromised. Especially that guy. That guy's the most compromised one in here. No fucking way, man. I just want a drag of that sweet menthol Ziggy. Really? Quick, tell me what's under her jumpsuit. Glory, truth, softness. Protect her. She wants you. I take it back. He's got it pretty bad. But this next guy's on another level entirely. She likes you. The crown head is a boring condom. He's jealous. This is human nature. How it always does, through subtlety. There's nothing you can do about it. You are how you are, and she is how she is. Things will go as they do. No. It's better to know you're being played than to be played without knowing it, is it not? I think it's safe to assume, yes, Mr. Thespian here hasn't been speaking up. If he were, I suspect there would be paeans to her truthfulness. Like this, she is a lady, most fair and just. In his defense, to reduce him to such inadequacy, she probably had to employ half-truths more often than outright lies. That is correct. And omissions too. A little. They're all still of limited use, interpreting things to the best of their ability. Maybe they add flair or something. I wouldn't know. I don't add flair. But when it comes to assessments of character and factual accuracy, they are not to be trusted. Not with her. Don't be melodramatic. You can trust them. Just not with her. You can't draw a sound conclusion. The one he usually does says, she may want to control the information rollout, not to become a suspect. She may have a past she's escaping, unrelated to this case. You doubt it's something truly insidious. See? It's oddly moderate, probably compromised. Don't worry, it's only been 4 or 5 seconds. You've got this. The silence broken. She exhales a little cloud of smoke and says,
God, no. Why not? I'll be here until 11 p.m. drinking.
Looks like we have more to discuss with those so-called Hardy Boys. Half their reasoning just went out the window. Nothing will make them respect the RCM, but it will disrupt the game they prepared for us. We just stripped off one layer of whatever it is. Her decision to not corroborate their story was definitely not part of the plan. What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to lie and get away with it. If not you, then me. It was a smart move from her. You think so? Being candid is the best way to lie. The appearance of candor with some facts thrown in draws attention away from whatever one chooses to omit. She may be trying to control the pace of the investigation. Anyway, we should move. I suspect our inquiries will bring us back here soon enough.
Can I help you? You're already set for the night. Another thing. Great. I love those. Why? No, fuck it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know why these degenerates do what they do. I thought we had one good guest in the building.
He really doesn't like it being classier.
Yeah, well, she's not a guest, is she?
What? Did someone mention my name?
We were just paying you a compliment. And finding out a degenerate from room 3 nicked the phone line. Everything is okay here. Good thing that guest pays for her stuff on time. Oh, yes?
The clowns are still hanging around. What is it now? Fuck! I knew that fucking whore couldn't be trusted.
You've hit a nerve. Titus is furious. No, more than that. The loyal Titus feels betrayed.
For the record, Titus Hardy did not explicitly specify the victim as a whore, nor did he say anything about trusting her.
Oh, shut up and stay out of this, Liz. He raped her. He was out of his fucking mind. You have no idea.
She's just in denial, asshole. You don't understand the traumatic experience. She's shutting down, and she doesn't fucking trust you.
Yeah, she's crazy, you know. A crazy bitch. You know the type. She's fucked up.
She wasn't raped. The witnesses' statements were very clear.
Lawman, I'm at the end of my goddamn rope with you. I fucking told you not to push her. And you went and pushed her. I am gonna fuck
Titus Hardy!
Success. Titus backs off. Fists down, everybody.
Everett personally sent me to take care of this. If this goes south, we'll all be in the shit. But you, Titus Hardy, are going to be buried. Am I understood?
Someone has to rush in to break the tension. The second in command.
Look, Copper. We know that that fuck was a rapist and a killer. We got him confessing to it on tape. Show it to him, T. What's the harm, right?
Here, jerkwad. Listen to this shit. And then come back and tell me the soldier of the apocalypse was an innocent man.
This is their last play, this tape. Their story is in tatters. A mess. It might be nice to listen to, but at this point, you don't need to.
What's on it? We call it the door gun a mega mix. You'll know why once you listen to it. You think we go into this shit deaf and dumb? You RCM aren't the only ones who know how to bug people. There's no university degree for that. We have machines. We're in logistics. How do you think a harbor works? It's advanced stuff.
Understood? You've listened in on their communications. How long?
Since way before their chief started taking swing lessons.
Things got nice and quiet after that.
It's not advanced. You just hold up in a coop all day, writing down what they say. It gets hot as hell in there.
Don't put yourself down, Angus. It's important work.
Yeah, man. You're like a radio genius or something. Those notes are some in-depth stuff. Indexes and shit.
I'm sure we can find a tape player.
Where can I listen?
Yeah, play it with your ass, cocksucker.
I'm sure we can find a tape player. It's not a problem.
Don't forget your tape, lawman. You do that. Oh, and keep it. Maybe you'll need a reminder of you.
You stare at the great door gunner. The tape feels ominous. Upon it, the dead speak. Respect the tape. The boomboxes wait on the shelves. And your boombox, that gold and...
Sorry, man. I can't be giving out freebies. Never have, won't now. A discount? I do have to keep the
Remember, he doesn't like music. He likes sounds. The Door Gunner Megamix is his type of tape. Certainly, he'd give you a discount if he knew you'd play something so experimental.
4 real is offensively low, but just this once. For the music, concrete, cop. And here you are, quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever, turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes.
The porter reel is just you push, command set, and the tape starts spinning. Violent static and machine sounds fill the air.
This isn't Revachol. This is a fucking village. I can almost see the elephants.
The harbor. That's the son of a Kvalson crane.
When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the Apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens too. Gonna run a room, Cordy. A real nice one. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally. I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, The dance a whore upstairs. Do it Kohoi style. Never did get that taste out of my mouth.
The lieutenant presses the button marked Arrête on your portal-reel. The tape stops spinning.
It seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off the shortwave, then edited to seem more incriminating. He sounded like he was on patrol around the harbor walls. Still,
there's more going on here than we know.
End of recording. Corty could be short for Cortenard, one of the other mercenaries, the one he was talking to. Probably the mountain at the harbor gates. Mr. Right to Work. A village on the Samaran Isola, in South Safre. Grad committed war crimes there, the kind of thing he talks about. Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. Or maybe Kohoi is just merc talk for atrocity, slaughter. I think we've got a few more questions for class here, don't you? This seems to contradict
Officer, the mere sight of police in Martinez makes me feel safer already. How can I help you? Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
His tone lacks its usual intensity, like he doesn't feel he has the right to speak on the matter.
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was René's first girl, back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy.
And then you stole her from me.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress.
We were just boys then. This was different. No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have company. Officer.
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage, peaceful. René and I were both by her bedside when she...
died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back. Will it now?
Departed. Until the very hand she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met. She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us to marry. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married. Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. Seduced her with your fancy words and pastries.
He suddenly remembers you are still there.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left. Sure, officer. No.
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instincts. Feels like there's nothing for you to understand here. It is not her death you are investigating. Absolutely not. She died of pneumonia in her bed at the age of 79. This is highly usual. I was 22 when I returned from King Guillaume's Akira operation in the south and found my sweetheart in the arms of this wretch.
The Akira operation was a 7-year campaign, during which suzerain Guillaume's army forcefully united the people in the southeastern part of La Petite Continent, collectively known as the Akira tribes, under the Revacholian banner.
I won her back, but while I was dealing with some issues.
You were like a dark cloud sucking the joy out of every living thing around you. And you hurt her.
Dark cloud. That sounds unpleasantly familiar.
Those days and memories are gone.
The old soldier says nothing, but when his glance quickly runs over Gaston's face, there's an odd look in his eyes. Could it be guilt? All you observe.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in service of Frissel I, Guillaume le Lion, and the valiant King Philip V before him.
Don't you mean Frissel the Fan?
You do not speak his name, Craven, although he was a clown. But he was our clown, ours to ridicule and to mourn.
There's something you missed. You will get to it. Don't worry.
you're back. Good.
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
A referral, you mean? I take such referrals may sometimes get you information from a man like Everard. Did it?
Detective, I advise you to be very selective with what information you choose to share.
How benevolent. Hopefully they'll help you sort this whole business out, if they haven't already.
While we appreciate your assistance, ma'am, I'm afraid we can't discuss the specifics of an ongoing investigation with you.
That is only fair. Well, I hope it yields something. Otherwise you'll have opened that door for naught. Misinformation. This is all because we haven't shared information on the lynching yet. See? Already the adversary uses it to their advantage. Don't let him. Hurry up on that probe. The moment you tell me you're finished at the traffic jam, I will gladly tell you the company's side of the story.
She must really want you to look into the drugs. Otherwise, she'd tell you. She was worried for a moment that she's overplayed her hand by not sharing info sooner. Then she settles down, curious to hear.
Naturally, Detective. There are lighter topics to gossip about. Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should something come up. Now, what else can I do for you?
Gendarmerie, you found me.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
It does feel like the end of the week. It's so magical. The white falling against the black. Trust me. You do. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
To the city. It's a beautiful night. Take care, all right?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Different, of course. He smells good. He smells good, and that's weird. Come on, detective, let's go.